Hi everyone, it's Mark. Thank you so much for joining me today. So I'm going to be doing some abstract art using this colour palette so you can see lots of blues and a couple of tools. But what I'm working on today is lined paper. So paper that you would hang on the wall before you wallpaper. I've got some masking tape because I want to create a border. I've got a paintbrush, quite a large paintbrush, because I want to do some painting, and a squeegee, because I want to drag some of the paint across the paper itself. So, I'm first of all going to create a frame around my paper. And sometimes I do use paper instead of canvases, especially when I want to try out a technique. But today, I'm going to create one large painting, and then I'm going to create several paintings from that painting. I'm just lining up my tools just to make sure I've got enough room. I'm going to use the squeegee to drag the paint across two of the areas on one side and then one area on the other side, and then the paintbrush and vice versa. So first of all, I'm going to take my colour palette, so all my blues that you can see and the gold, and I'm just going to line that up along the centre point. And then I'm going to use my squeegee and my paintbrush to drag the paint and paint from the centre to the outer edges. I'm going to do this and think about the big picture that I'm creating first. So I want some movement, I want some texture. But I'm then going to take this piece and divide it up into several paintings. So let me get the paint down and then I'll talk you through the process. So I've got all my blues down and now I'm just adding the gold. And as the gold splats out, I've realised I've not changed into my painting t-shirt. So I've quickly got changed and I'm wearing my black t-shirt. So I'm going to start with the squeegee, and I've literally placed the squeegee within the paint and I'm dragging the paint from the middle to the outer edge. And you can see me just holding down the paper as I go. One swoop with the squeegee. So again, placing the squeegee within the paint and then just dragging the paint all the way along from the middle to the outer edge. And I'm pressing down really firmly on this. I don't necessarily want any gaps to begin with, but I'm then just adding some texture. So when you use your squeegee and you pull the paint from the middle to the outer edge, the paint will gather on the squeegee on the back of it. So I'm using that paint to literally drop that onto the paper by going over the paper, lifting it up, dropping it down, lifting it up, dropping it down. And that's how I'm enabling the paint to drop from the squeegee back onto the paper itself. I'm then using the paintbrush to finish the middle part. And then I'm going to layer the paint all again, and I'm going to do the reverse on the opposite side. So I'm going to use the squeegee once, directly in the middle, place it within the paint, and pull it along to the outer edge. And then I'm going to use the paintbrush twice. So let me show you this process, and I'll be back shortly to show you how we can add some texture and how we can really transform this piece. Okay, so I'm really happy with this. I've covered what I want to cover using the squeegee and the paintbrush. So I'm now going to remove the masking tape I placed around the edges to create a frame. So I'm just literally pulling the masking tape up and removing it from the paper and throwing the masking tape into the bin and disposing of it safely. So you'll see that it's got a clean edge, and I'm going to remove the middle piece now, and it's almost going to create two different versions of the same painting. So we use the squeegee and the paintbrush, and this is the final piece. So I'm going to let this dry, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it up into several other pieces. But before I do that, I'm just using my tile grouter, because where I use the paintbrush, I just want to create a little bit of extra texture. This is going to dry quite quickly, so I do this straight away. And then once I've used the grouter, I'll let the full piece dry. And it won't take long. So let me show you a close-up of these pieces. All the masking tape has been removed. This is just a blue and gold colour palette using two tools, the squeegee and the tile grouter. So let me show you the close-up and I'll be back shortly. I'm really loving all that texture and all those tones that are coming through from using that palette. And if you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up, give it a like, and let me know what you think in the comments below. I really enjoy reading all your feedback, so let me know what you think. So the painting is dry, and as you remember, I took the border off. So you can see here, if you can see me, I have two very large paintings, or I could just have one and fill in this middle. But it's really interesting sometimes to take a painting and to take like a border that you would buy, you get these in picture frames as well, and take sections of a painting and create numerous paintings with these. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to continue with this, and I'm going to split this up into another set of paintings. So you can see here I've got two. How many more can we make? So let's go. So this is really about having a look at this full picture, so seeing the bigger picture and maybe creating some smaller ones. So just take your frame or your frieze, whatever you want to use, and just place it over the painting just to see what looks good, what doesn't look so good, what you think you would like to see within this frame. So I use this area here as my guide. I'm literally just going to place the frame on and just draw around the frame and then cut out the piece that I've drawn around. I'm going to concentrate on this section first, and then I'll move on to this other section. So I'm basically just taking the frame and having a look to see what looks good within that middle section. And then when I'm happy with that, I draw around the frame to kind of save that as a painting. And I'll do that with both sides of this piece. I will move the frame from portrait to landscape to have a look and have that feeling of what I want to create within that middle section, and then take that snapshot ready for a new piece. I repeat this several times because it's really important to think about the composition of a piece before you take that section for a new painting. Once I've decided on what I want to do, I use my scissors and literally cut out the areas that I've drawn round, and they're going to be the new paintings that we create from this piece. And I also repeat that for the second part of this half too. So here we go. So from that side, I managed to create 3 different paintings, and using that border can really give that focal point on where you want the eye to go when you look at that painting. So I'm going to repeat this process now on the other side, and I'll show you the paintings that I've ended up with. So in total, 7 paintings were created from that one that I started with right at the very beginning, using that blue and gold colour palette. I've had so much fun doing this, and this really is an ocean series for me, giving some depth to the ocean and that area in the sky too. I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know if you try something similar. I'd love to know what you do and what colour palette you use too. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope I get to see you again in the next video. Take care. Bye.